Hello ladies and gents, Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. So as you can see, looks different. New location, moved. So things will be a little bit different for a little while. And I'll be talking a lot softer since I'm not just in a regular place where I can just go and yell and scream like I used to. I feel like you'll probably actually like this better because I'm not yelling at you. Remember to check out my ASMR channel, Romie Whispers ASMR. The episode starts off, so this is Queen Sugar season 4? I want to make sure that I get this correct from the jump. So season 4, episode 4. Nova. That's not the title, but that's what I'm titling it. It starts off with Nova. She's talking to Micah. Micah has her back. He read the book. I guess he read it in its entirety. And apparently the book is different from the manuscript. I'm tired of Nova. This is why I'm tired of Nova. My microphone's right there. This is why I'm tired of Nova. Nova and her self-righteous... She couldn't even give them the proper version. She couldn't even do that. Okay. She's talking to Micah and she's getting emotional because she has this book signing and right now no one else is going, but he'll go. He's going to support his aunt. He's about truth and liberation, so he's for this right now. And she even, she's trying not to cry, but she is. So he's hugging her, just kind of saying, hey, it'll be okay. You have support. And I said, oh, that's great. That's great. You do that over there, Micah. You do that over there. And Kiki also isn't talking to him right now. Because Kiki is not on this. She is not ride or die. And I respect it. She's like, I am going to college. I'm going to live. I'm not going to go and let the foolery around here go and mess with my opportunities. I am not a West. I cannot go and do certain things and be fine. You know who else isn't fine? Aunt Vi. So Aunt Vi she's just trying to sort things out in her head. Unfortunately for her, it takes a turn because Hollywood wants to go and Aunt Vi she doesn't want to do that right now. She does not want to do that right now, and the look on her face just says it all, like, don't touch me. And it's not you, it's just this whole situation. And I feel bad. I feel really bad. Charlie decided to, I guess, redo the housing situation that she had in the back of the mill and turned it into a center for people who don't have proper health insurance and probably, some runaways and all of that. And her man is there and he appreciates everything that she's done, and she's just like, let me know if I can do more. Speaking of more, here comes Micah. As I said, in comes Micah, and the look that he gave Charlie's boyfriend, like, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Charlie explains what he does and all of that, and Micah just kind of look, oh, hey. So you, I guess. You know how it is. But more importantly, once he goes, Micah and Charlie have the conversation about, hey, what about the stalker? What about the person who's sending me death threats? And the investigator found out who it was. It was some local guy who's been sending the same stuff to other people. And they just didn't have the resources to go and do anything about it. And that's scary. That's scary. And I'm hoping that that's the case. I'm hoping that that's the only thing. I'm really hoping it's not something else. Because if it is, Lord help us. Now, Nova, actually, Aunt Vi, she's back at the shop. she's trying to work, but she's so frustrated. One of her workers drops something, so then she goes off on her. And Hollywood, with that "I love you, but you're doing too much" look. And so then she collects herself and she apologizes, and in comes Ralph Angel. And because Ralph Angel, he's actually gonna do the whole prison reform, have the reformed prison goers come and work on his farm. I don't like the word inmate, so I'm trying to avoid that word. Previously incarcerated. There we go. People come in and do what they need to do, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But Nova is at the door, and so again, Vi said, make sure she doesn't come in. And so the worker goes and she says, "You know what? I love you, Nova. I respect you," because Nova was trying to get in the door. She said, no. But your aunt does not want to see you. She doesn't want to see you. She does not want to communicate with you. She does not want to talk to you. And that's just something you're just going to have to get over. And I'm thinking, Nova, who in their right mind goes and does what they do to their family and think, "Oh, I'll just talk to them and it's just going to be fine"? No, this is the real world. This is the real world. This is real life. Your actions have consequences. Yeah, and so Ralph Angel, like I said, at his farm, he has the, previously incarcerated people there, and he's essentially like, "Look, work hard, stay out of trouble, and you have a job with me." And of course, we really respect that. Really respect that, because that's putting his name, his business on the line for them. And so, Ralph Angel. But once we move on to Charlie is talking to her investigator woman, and the investigator finds out a couple of things. One, that, Jacob Boudreaux, that he's gonna run for mayor or something of the sorts, and essentially he's going to run unopposed. So that's why they're pulling him back in to the fold. That's one. Two, because no one's going to contest him. Two, the prison was just a start. Her blocking the prison was not enough, because the highway that was always meant to be built, the real plan for that highway is to cut through the farmers' land, including her family's. The highways are multi-billion dollar infrastructures and plans and all of that. So we thought they were chasing millions? No. They wanted the B, not the M. Well, I guess you get the W and get the win. I don't know. But yeah, so Charlie's just like, "These son of a guns. Really? Really?" So Nova still tries to call her family, and they're ignoring her. But her publisher calls and says, "Hey, we have more opportunities for you." And so of course that brightens up her day. It's like, "Yeah, your book is being so well received. It's like been the bestseller list for all these weeks or whatever. And it's critically acclaimed." And she's just like, and I'm thinking, Nova, really? So once we get through there, we move back over to Aunt Vi's prize pies. Things are moving better. She's feeling a little bit better until she hears a voice that sounds like Jimmy, her ex-husband. But actually, no, it wasn't. It was Prosper and someone else talking. But that just shows how her world is being rocked. While her world is being rocked and she's trying to keep it together, Charlie is trying to figure out, okay, we need to at least stop the Boudreaux from getting the mayorship. And the woman that Charlie was trying to support before is actually bowing out. And she's trying to convince Charlie to do the same. And Charlie's just like, "It's your job to fight against this, fight against corruption, fight against these people." And she was like, "Look, you know how powerful they are. You're on the inside. What am I going to do with the outside? I will help you." But she doesn't want to listen to Charlie. She doesn't want to go and fall on the sword. She just wants to go, get a paycheck, and call it a day. Which I said, wow. Wow. Okay. Trash, but okay. Okay. And that's just sad. But it just goes to show how you never really know people, do you? So then Charlie, being pissed, her next stop is the sister who essentially screwed over Charlie. And the sister's just trying to keep Charlie calm. And Charlie was being feisty in front of people, so she sent the people away. And so then this woman had the audacity to go and tell Charlie, look, you really think you're different than these other people who work for me? If this was, what'd she say, like 60 years ago, 50, 60 years ago, trust and believe that I would have, you wouldn't have been able to even walk up in here and talk to me like that. I said, oh, so we're gonna go the racial route, which we always knew that's what it really was about, but now you're showing your cards. Oh, okay. So since you want to do that, then how about this? Since you want to do that, then how about this? Why don't you? Because Charlie was over it. The face that she because the one was saying, I read your sister's book. I know, what you did back there in Hollywood and whatnot. And she said, yes, you just said it. You read her book. You only read a fraction of what I really did. So let's get a couple of things clear. Don't you in your ever natural born life think that someone who conquered the NBA, sports entertainment, and conquered Hollywood can't do the same to a family-owned farming industry down here. If I did that to them and all the juice they had, imagine what I will do to you. Charlie. This is why I love Charlie. Oh yeah. Greenleaf is coming back in September. September's gonna be lit. There's a lot of good stuff coming back in September. I can't wait. But I love that Charlie said that, because Charlie, they keep underestimating her. Everyone keeps underestimating her, and they keep testing her like she's some bum. Charlie is a boss. They keep testing her like she's some bum, and I can't stand it. You go, Charlie. You do your... I really wanted to be happy for Darla, but I knew that things weren't gonna last very long. Her relationship with this older guy is doing well. Why did I say that? It's doing well, and unfortunately, she gets a present from him. It's the book. It's the book. And I'm just like, oh. So now she's gonna have to read it because everyone's compelled to do so. And then Ralph Angel, Blue was hanging out with the guy from last season who I guess is kind of like the manager there, or who works closely with Ralph Angel. And I was like, oh. I'm like, okay. Clearly there's a lot of trust there to have Blue sitting on that guy's... I know it's his leg, but we know how it... Come on. You know what I'm saying. But anyway, the guy brings up the facts that he read and heard some things and knows that Blue isn't biologically Ralph Angel's. And I said, do we really need to bring this up? Because at first I was over it. And then he spun and said, I really respect you. And Ralph Angel looked at him like, huh? Because my biological father did nothing for me. And your son, well, I hope he didn't say it isn't your son, because that's the only that's the only part that I'm gonna be like, really? But he was like, yeah, your son, you technically didn't have to take responsibility for, and you are. And so I really just respect that. And I'm thinking, okay, I get it. This is the whole point and premise of Nova's book. I get it. It still doesn't detract from the fact that she did not talk to her family members prior to putting the book out. She did not That's the main thing. She didn't talk to her family members. And so it just feels like a betrayal. A huge betrayal. And now Charlie, dealing with more betrayals, she comes to her own home, sees her son Micah, sees Davis, because she told Davis that, yeah, you can come over to the house to get Micah or whatever. Because she was just distracted at the time. And Davis brings, what's her name? Tia? Her name starts with a T, so I'm going to tell her T for now. T is his daughter that he has been hiding for 13 years. I'm thinking, wait a minute, she looks older than 13, but it's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, Charlie had egg on her face because Charlie had this look of, you know, that whole thing where it's like someone catches you off guard, but you don't want them to know that you're slipping, especially when it's a child. So you're just like, oh, okay. That fake smile where you really aren't happy, but you just want to make sure that they know that it's not them. It really isn't. It's a stupid adult next to them that's pissing you off. So she invited her into the house, said, you know, Micah, you go and take your sister and play. I think Davis even invited her, or maybe it was Micah, to go and hang out with them. I said, no. And she didn't even say rain check. She was like, oh, no, you guys have fun. So I really respect Charlie, because Charlie said, look, you hid a whole daughter from me for 13 years. And now that the situation is at hand where I think the mother died, is that the story or something like that happened? I already took and still taking care of our son. Don't think for a second that I'm going to go and raise your child too. So she can come here whenever she wants and, you know, stay and visit with her brother. Period. No problem. But you are not going to go and drop her off and leave her because I'm not taking care of someone else's child. This is on you. And I really respect that Charlie just put it all out there. Because Davis also told her that he's leaving the league. And she didn't even care at that point. It was like, whatever. Because I think she got her settlement or however the pay structure is. So she doesn't even care. She's like, go. Yeah, do whatever you want. But I'm not going to go and raise another child for you. No. Like, really, Davis? Didn't even give the woman the common courtesy. It's her own home. It's her own home. And she didn't even know. Picks back up with Nova. She decided to go and read part of her book. Now again, the official book has stuff in it, the original manuscript didn't. And there's a chapter about her father. So apparently, and Nova doesn't say if she was actually touched or raped or molested or anything, but there's these older white men who were bothering them at this fishing trip. They always went fishing. And they threatened Nova's life or something of the sorts. And so next thing we know, her father did something, and long story short, they never went swimming again. They never did the fishing trip again. Those men never bothered her again. And she also talked about how she always wandered out at night, went through the cane, and she saw her father burying something in the backyard. She doesn't know what it is. All she knows that it scared her, and she never asked him about it, and she never went wandering out in the cane again. And I'm thinking, Nova, really? Nova, we snitching on your father now? Like, I get it. You have some truths that you want to put out there and show that no one's perfect. I get it. But you're like telling everyone else's business. I get it's partially connected to you, but it's not the same. So now you essentially insinuating that your father's a murderer, that there might be a dead body out by this fishing area or even on your farm. I can't. It's too much. It's too much. Nova's ex-girlfriend was there, so she was saying, you know what? Nova, Mike was there to support Nova, but Nova's ex-girlfriend was there, giving her kudos, said, this is what I always thought you were meant to do. I guess your family, they're not really cool with all this. And she was like, yeah, but they'll come around. It's like, if you ever needed to talk or anything else, hit me up. And then the ex goes and kisses Nova. And Nova definitely had that, ooh, I want that old thing back. Poor Darla. So Darla decided, hey. Poor Darla. That's all I have to say. Poor Darla. She read the book, and each chapter, I guess, normally would have their names. Because I was looking, I was peeking, and said, oh, this book is great. I want a book. At the end of the season, they better release the dang book. I'm telling you. That'll be next level. That will be next level. Release it online. Actually, no, I want a physical copy. And what happens is her passage essentially starts off with how she was high and on some bed while Johns, aka guys who were paying her to sleep with them, were just, on top of her, and the motel was dirty, and how Blue was there in the corner while all of this was happening, and her trick name was Star. So in the book, she's called Star to keep her identity safe. Isn't that generous of Nova? So then, boom, boom, boom. Nova's like, I know the drill. Who is it this time? You had no right. You had no right going and doing that. You had no right putting my business out there. Why would you do that to me? Me. And Noah said, I thought you of all people would get it because you were triumphant. You started off one way and you were able to successfully get your life together. That's why I thought that you'd be the biggest inspiration of all for people. Starting at the bottom, at the worst, and rising up. Because Nova in the book also talked about how, I guess, Darla, she came from a privileged background and how she had all the potential in the world, but, drugs took over. Drugs became her priority. And so I need Nova to really, really get it. Because even Darla said, you are never seeing me or Blue ever again. Same thing Ralph Angel said. Well, he said Blue. And Nova isn't getting it that you can't put people's business out there for public consumption and expect them to be okay with it. That's her problem. That is her problem. She expects everyone to be okay with it. Like, oh, what's the problem? What's wrong? Really, Nova? Really? And now Charlie, after, because she dropped off, she dropped off Micah to go and be with his father and be with the sister, and came back. The thing is that Micah told Charlie, well, one, he didn't want to say how his day went because he had a really good time, didn't want to rub it in, but he did. But he also put it out there that, there's some stuff in the book that you probably don't know about. And, about Grandpa. I was like, what do you mean? And so then he started to tell Charlie that it kind of sounds like something happened to Aunt Nova when she was little, and Grandpa and some guys were involved, and Grandpa handled it. So then that prompted Charlie to go and at least try and talk to her family and say, hey, is there something else going on that we don't know about? But before that, Nova calls her ex and tells her ex, yeah, you can come over. And her ex was like, I'm all the way home. You know where I am. Why didn't you just come to me if that's what you wanted? See, that's the problem with you, Nova. It's always about you. It's always about you. It's always about you. It's centered around you, and you don't see it because you don't want to see it. I said, yikes. Ooh. And Nova was like, and so then her friend said, if you want to talk about why your family wasn't there for real, we can do that. And Nova said, you know what, it's fine, thanks, this is a mistake. I'm saying, so now you can't take it. Charlie then goes and talks to her family, and they weren't really interested. Like Ralph Angel and Aunt Vi weren't interested. Ralph Angel was a little bit more open to hearing something, but Aunt Vi was just like, oh, not this again. I said, so you knew something? Of course you knew something. And Aunt Vi said, yeah, I heard that there were some issues with the fishing trip, some men bothering Nova. I don't know what actually happened to her, and I don't know what Ernest did. All I know is that all of that stopped, and he always kept a watchful eye on her. She never left his sight, which now also explains why he felt a certain way about Nova going off into the world, and why she probably always wanted to go off to the world, because she always probably felt held captive. Because when she was reading her passage, she was also saying how the earth that belonged to her ancestors and where her ancestors came from, it was kind of like part of her right, her claim to it was buried with whatever was buried in the ground. And I said, I get it, but it still doesn't justify Nova putting everyone's business out there. And Aunt Vi said, you know what? Just like how Jimmy is her dark corner, everyone deserves to have something of theirs be kept private. Not everything needs to be put out there. And I 100% agree. Absolutely. Everything is not for everyone to know about. Unlike, the media and social media makes it seem. Ralph Angel has to console Darla because Darla tells him Nova put everything in the book, everything about her. She wrote about her. Aunt Vi nailed it. Aunt Vi was crying for dear life in the bathroom, and Hollywood heard, but he realized there's nothing that he can do. He needs to stop trying to go and just save her and just go and allow her to grieve, to breathe, to do whatever she needs to do, to just let it out. And I'm glad that he gave her the opportunity to do that. And then hold on. So that was actually it. So please like, comment, subscribe. Remember to check out my ASMR channel, Romie Whispers ASMR, and I'll see you soon.